Right, determine whether the ordered pair is a solution. Now all you're doing is checking to see this x and this y will equal 12 in the first and 1 in the second, okay? So I've just got to plug them in. So, okay, if x is 5, 3 times 5 is 15. If y is -3, so -3, yes, that does equal 12, so that's good. Right, plug it into here, 5 in there. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 times -3. 3 times -3 is -9. 10 take away 9, that equals, yes, so both those are good, okay? All you're doing is plugging the x and y in to see if it's true. Okay, solve the system by graphing. Now, much like a previous one we did where we just had to find the x and y intercepts, I'm going to set the x equal to 0 to find y. And then I'll set the y equal to 0 to find x for this first one. Okay, so again, when x is 0, when that's not there, can you see 5y equals 5? So if you divide both sides by 5, y equals 1. Okay. Now if the y equals 0, then you see x equals 5. Right, I'm going to plot that. So 1, it's not a very good piece of graph paper, is this? And when x is 5, okay? So that will look something like that. Remember, I've got to graph this, got a nice straight line, so I won't know what the solution is. Okay, so that's the first one done. Now the second one isn't as easy. I'll make it easier on the test, okay? Because again, I'm going to do this. X, y. Okay, so when x equals 0, in other words, then that's not there. -9y equals -9, divide by the number next to the letter, which is -9, y is going to be +1, okay? Because they divide -9 by -9. Right, now, so this is actually the harder one. I'll make the numbers easier on the test, because if I do this, if I do y equal to 0, then if I divide by 4, because that's the number next to the letter, then x is going to be -9/4, which is not easy to plot. Anyway, I can do this one, which actually is the same point as there already. And then if I do -9/, which is about -2¼ which is about down here. Sorry, x is -2¼ it's over here. So it's going to look something like this, all right? So not easy. That's not easy to plot, but I'll make the numbers easier on the test, so it's a nice whole number. But can you see where this is crossing? It looks like it's crossing at 0, 1. Okay, that's where it's crossing. And again, if you want to do something like this and test the numbers, in x is 0 and y is 1, yes, I'll get 5. If x is 0 and y is 1, yes, I will get -9. Okay. Right, that's me just checking the numbers. Okay, so now we're going to solve it by elimination. So to me, it looks like the letter y is probably the easier letter to get rid of. Okay, remember, so if I've got a 3y, I want a -3y here to cancel it, okay? So how do I make this into a -3y? I multiply by -3, okay? So here's the first equation, the top one, multiplied by -3. That's -9x, -3y equals +18, because -6 times -3 is +18. So multiply everything by -3. I won't touch the second one. It's 4x plus 3y equals -3. Now can you see they will cancel? Okay, so that's why I multiplied the first one by -3. So the 3y will cancel a -3y. Now add these two together, I get -5x. Add those two together, I get 15. So x equals -3 if I divide both sides by -5. Yeah, okay. So x equals -3. I've got an answer. I've now got to plug it back into one of these. I'll plug it back into the first one. Doesn't matter where you plug it back into, I'll do it there, okay? So if x is -3, what's 3 times -3 plus y equals -6? That's the first equation, remember? I just plugged x equal to -3 in there. That's -9, that's still y, that's -6. If I add a 9 to both sides, then y equals 3, and that's the other answer, okay? Right, let's look at the substitution one. Right, if I'm going to do substitution, I'm going to take the first equation. Just remember, look for the nice single letter, and that's there. So I'm going to write this. X equals 1 take away 6y. Can you see? I just took away this 6y from both sides, so it wasn't there. Okay? If that's what x is, I'm going to plug it right into there, into the second equation. So here we go. Negative 7x, but it's not x anymore. It's 1 minus 6y plus 7y equals negative 7. Okay? So I just plugged that. See where it is? Right there, where the x was? Do the distributive law. So negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. Negative 7 times negative 6y is positive 42y. Still got a 7y, still got a negative 7. Now I can combine these two here, okay? So I've got negative 7, 42y and 7y is 49y, and that equals negative 7. All right? Okay, so I'm going to add a 7 to both sides. So 49y equals 0. Okay, so y equals 0. That's one answer, because if I divide both sides by 49, it'll still be 0. So I've got one answer. Y is 0. Now, can you see, if I just plug it back into here, I'll get what x equals. So x equals 1 minus 6 times 0. Well, 6 times 0 is just 0, so x equals 1, and there's your other answer. Okay? Right, I'll do one of these application questions, and I'll do another video for the rest. So remember how to do this. One number is, right, if I call one number, the first number x and the second number y, okay, so one number is 2 less than the second. So there's the second number, and there's 2 less than it. That's one equation done. Now look at this. Twice the second number. There's twice the second number. Is equals 25 more than 5 times the first. Well, there's 5 times the first, and there's 25 more. Okay? So if x equals y minus 2, I'm going to stick it right there. So I will have 2y equals, instead of 5x, I'll write 5y minus 2. And again, plus 25. Okay, so 2y equals, this is going to be 5y minus 10 plus 25. So again, 2y equals 5y. Negative 10 plus 25 is 15. So I've got to there. I'm going to have to find some more space now, okay? Okay. So let's just erase some of this over here, the original problem. So remember what that was, okay? What I've got right here, I'm going to erase it. So remember, I've got 2y equals 5y plus 15. That's just me bringing this up here. Right, I'm going to take away 5y from both sides. So negative 3y equals 15. Divide both sides by negative 3. Looks like y equals negative 5. Okay, there we go. That's an answer. Now, I've erased one of the equations. Remember, this one number is 2 less than a second. So remember, one number is 2 less than a second. Right, if y is negative 5, if I plug it back in there, x equals negative 5, another negative 2, so x equals negative 7. So I've gone around the whiteboard a bit there, but those are your two answers, okay? X equals negative 7, y equals negative 5.